Welcome to the blackawakening.com. I'm your host, spiritual practitioner, 322 Peppy Black Sun. Today we're going to discuss things from the past to the present day, leading towards our future for the struggles of indigenous people in this nation. We're going to dial back the hands of time on the analog clock and revisit the time period roughly in the 1800s where we're going to start to present day time. So I want you to reflect back to a time period on and about July 13, 1863. During this time period, you had the New York City draft riots and massacre. The New York City draft massacre riots was one of the largest civil insurrections in U.S. history against indigenous black people by colonialist demons that attacked our indigenous black communities, our schools, our institutions, and they were murdering our indigenous people. On April 12, 1864, UN soldiers were massacred at Fort Pillow. Confederate troops massacred over 500 UN black soldiers after they stopped fighting and surrendered at Fort Pillow. On December 9, 1864, the Ebenezer Creek Massacre. On the march to Savannah, it was thousands of indigenous black people and their families that just escaped from slavery, but they were left to drown by Sherman's army. May 1st and May 3rd of 1866, you have the Memphis Massacre. This where you had colonialist demons and police kill 46 indigenous black people and injuring over 100, burning their homes, their schools, and their churches. July 30th, 1866, you had the New Orleans Massacre. It's when a peaceful demonstration of mostly freemen was attacked by colonialist demons and New Orleans police. 200 indigenous black people and 4 colonialist demons died that day. In 1867, you had the Negro Republican Party was formed. Okay, this is actually the backdrop for a whole lot of this nefarious things that happened to our people and our progress against this nation. Now, in 1867, you had the Negro Republican Party, and they won, the elections during that time period. It was like 1870 when they won the 3 out of the 4 congressional seats in South Carolina. Okay. We also had at least 8 people in government during that time. But we had, at that time period, we had Hiram R. Wells, and we had Representatives Benjamin S. Turner. We had Josiah T. Walls, Joseph H. Rainey, Robert Brown Elliott, Robert O. DeLarge, and Jefferson H. L. Then in 1868, you had the Democratic Party that was formed. You also had a Democratic National Convention that was held in Manhattan, New York. You had nominees Seymour and Blair. He had a guest speaker that stated, he said, "This is a white man's government, and we regard this Reconstruction acts of so-called Congress as usurpations and unconstitutional revolutionary as a void, democratic." Now, when we go into the etymology of that word, democracy or democratic, we go to the prefix of that word, demo. You look in Old Greek, Old Latin, as demo equates to devil. You can look also to the suffix of that word, krat, as meaning rule in Greek as well, which gives you devil rules or ruled by, demonic rule, Democrat. Understand this. That's why you have a Black Laws Dictionary, to give you the understanding and the duality of words that they use. Understand this. Now we're going to move on to September 28th, 1868, Opelousas Massacre. This is one of the bloodiest massacres of the Reconstruction era in the United States. This is for the elimination of the Negro Republican Party in St. Landry Parish by the white supremacist Democrats and the Knights of the White Camellia. Understand this. October 25th, 1868, the St. Bernard Parish Massacre. Our recently emancipated voters was attacked by colonialist demons to stop them from voting in their elections. April 13th, 1873, the Halifax Massacre. This is where the Ku Klux Klan Freemasons carried out the Halifax Massacre in response to the Republican Party victory. December 7th, 1874, the Vicksburg Massacre. This is when colonialist demons attacked and killed indigenous black people that organized for a black sheriff to remain in office during this massacre. September 4th, 1875, you had the Clinton, Mississippi Massacre. 50 indigenous black people were killed by colonialist demons during this Clinton riot. July 8th, 1876, the Hamburg Massacre. A small township of indigenous black Republicans was attacked by the Democratic white supremacists, and it was ran out the township. March 17, 1886, this is the Carroll County Courthouse Massacre. This is an incident where you had the Brown brothers that was charging a white man named Lindell for attempted murder. And at that time of the court proceedings, 50 armed men rushed in and they shot and killed 23 indigenous black people. And then the ones that tried to escape out the window, they shot them outside the courthouse. November 23rd, 1887. The Thibodeau Massacre. Inhumane working conditions forced 60 indigenous black people to go on strike in Louisiana sugarcane fields. They were massacred for refusing to work by colonialist demons. August 5th, 1896, Polk County Massacre. Colonialists killed indigenous black people coming to work on the Arkansas railroads. August 14th, 1908, Springfield Massacre. This was a race riot, the estimate of 5,000 colonialist demons that attacked indigenous black people in Springfield, Illinois. July 29th, 1910, Slocum, Texas Massacre. This was a small town where indigenous black people in Texas was attacked by colonialist demons. The motive was pure evil and jealousy over the indigenous black farmers' success. April 20th, 1914, you had the Ludlow Massacre. This is where 1,200 indigenous black people went on strike at the coal mine. And then the particular company hired prior military to attack these indigenous people, mainly killing women and children. This was a company owned by J.D. Rockefeller Jr. at the time. He was part owner of CF&I Company. July 19, 1919. This was the D.C. race riot of 1919. This is where you had white men in the armed forces that was attacking any black resident solely based on a false allegation of assault on a white woman. For 4 days, they attacked indigenous black people, all black businesses, homes, and churches. July 27th, 1919, the Red Summer in Chicago. This is where the man of lawlessness refused to make an arrest in the murder of a black teenager. This sparked violence in Chicago, and it lasted for about a week, leaving 38 people dead and thousands of indigenous black homes looted and damaged. September 30th, 1919. This is the Elaine Massacre. This is where indigenous black farmers was massacred for wanting better pay, charging higher prices for their cotton. The colonialists tried to attack them, but they defended themselves. Estimated 100 people were killed. November 2nd, 1920. The Oklahoe Massacre. Over 50 indigenous black people were killed after going to vote in Florida by colonialist demons. May 31st, 1921. The Tulsa, Oklahoma Massacre. This is one of many pure evil acts of jealousy by colonialist demons in the United States. Their insidious hatred of seeing thriving black-owned businesses and communities fueled this unprecedented attack on indigenous black people. January 1st, 1923, the Rosewood Massacre. Colonialist demons destroyed the black town of Rosewood, Florida. They murdered many residents, and their indigenous survivors, their children, had to fight for reparations and recognition of their history. February 8th, 1968, the Orangeburg Massacre. This is where 28 students were injured and 3 was killed by the man of lawlessness during a peaceful protest against racial segregation. May 13, 1985, the Philadelphia police bombing. The Philadelphia Police Department dropped a C4 bomb on the home of the MOVE organization, killing 11 people, including 5 children, and destroying half a city block. June 17th, 2015, the Charleston Church Massacre. You had 9 indigenous black churchgoers that was killed during the services by a seed of Satan inside the church. May 14th, 2022, the Buffalo Massacre. Here you had a seed of Satan that posted an online racist manifesto targeting a predominantly black community, killing 10 indigenous black people in the grocery store in Buffalo, New York. So, in conclusion, indigenous black people, this is a reflection in history to show you in present day time that you're still under attack, okay? Nothing's changed but the time period. So you learn from the past so you can make changes today for a better tomorrow. Understand this. And we can no longer allow these egregious things to happen to our people, okay? Understand this. So when you out in these streets, stay vigilant at all times. Practice self-preservation and understanding that self-preservation is the key for unification. Have that one monolithic ideology that you won't do anything destructive to yourself, your family, your community. And we as a people collectively look over us as a people. Protect these indigenous women in the streets, these children. Defend yourself. Understand this. So I'm going to leave you in the manner in which I came, with a universal prayer. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please continue to bless my listeners, their families, their friends, and the true believers for the day of reckoning takes place. For universal creator, you are all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praise and glory that's due to you from this life into the hereafter. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, In your name we pray that this shall be done. So again, practice self-preservation. Reach one, teach one. Peace, and take care.